prize will only receive 5 TikTok. This is the front lines of Ukraine. Last one to leave gets $5 million. But the thing is, the first person who can teach him how to blink. Man, I used to be so overweight. Can we switch to newer photos of me? Once again, this freaking emoji. Like, sure, he was a bit overweight, but he wasn't that overweight. You know what I mean? He wasn't on my 600-pound life. Do not send this photo, Pyrocynical. Mr. Life is so much. You're not traveling everywhere, and I think everybody can agree with that. Traveling a lot does get kind of mundane and repetitive and boring. A news site lied and said life is so much easier when you're broke, which I didn't say. Now I'm waking up to more DMT, so I'm intellectual. But it's better to programming, brother. Your brain is scrambled like some eggs. Kenpachi clears every... Boot it up, Jamie. Immediately they're assuming the worst in being Mr. Beast. Yeah, he was talking about a personal anecdote. He feels that it's easier to not travel. This might be controversial, but there is a difference traveling for work and traveling for pleasure. Mr. Beast got engaged recently, and even that was getting hated on. I'm sorry, but it's very funny that they're all wearing his merch. Okay, well, yeah, that's pretty wild. It was cold in the house, and I just happened to have some Christmas sweaters laying around. Lol. This is kind of what he's giving off, though. He's like pretending he's unbothered, and then he sees the lol at the end there. You don't really gotta justify yourself to every hate thread that blows up. You can't appease everybody. Even Jesus Christ had haters. Like, literally, let that sink in. Inarguably, the most moral person to like ever walk the earth just had his own fair share of haters. This one's pretty making him look 35. Like, I genuinely thought he's old enough to be my father. The internet's collective hate boner for Mr. Beast is growing at an exponential rate. The biggest crime Mr. Beast has done is associating himself with Logan Paul and Black Logan Paul, but is that really a crime?
Do you like Mr. Beast? No.
Do you think Mr. Beast ruined... Here's the final Cyprus location I was able... And of course, it's done in the small camera. Although, actually... Yeah, it's the exact same as the normal small cam, in my opinion. But yeah, just so cool. So we'll have to see what the extent is here. I mean, this one itself, the A6, yeah. It looks like... Ooh, look, the blue lines... I think, I don't know. We'll stay with our eyes peeled for this Cyprus update. It looks...
It's the only ethnic Passover Seder liturgy. I'm debating, should I say it in Hebrew? Or whatever it might be. But only to this day to Hamas. From Hitler to Hamas. But they're not annoyed. I don't hate Jews for that. I hate those people who mislead people. I hate Trotsky. Okay? I do. I hate his guts. But I'm not a Jew hater. I hate Trotsky. I feel that way about George Soros. Okay, but you know, does it lead me to Jew hatred? That's what, if every Jew were saintly, Jews would still be hated.
True.
It's so here is this is back to your question.
Mm-hmm. So I want to jump in here, and I think this is a great clip, and I recommend everybody go. Why there's an irrational hate and condemnation of Israel in the UN and around the world, given the circumstances of the neighborhood we live in and the circumstances of our founding. But we're condemned the most out of any other nation on planet Earth. Does that seem rational to you? Sorry, good sirs. Does that seem like a rational thing? If every single Jew today, it's not, I'm not saved from it. I'm not saved. I wasn't spared. I wasn't saved. I wasn't offered any rights like those innocent Palestinian journalists are, or all those women and children that fight for Hamas that are not a part of Hamas, that are not Hamas. Ladies and gentlemen, Jew hatred and anti-Semitism is irrational. So trying to find a rational solution to it is irrational. Our entire society is colonized. They all hate each other from the inside, both religiously and ethnically. Semitism on their side is to call out how much they suck. If we Jews go on the offensive and start attacking them, support me, being PayPal, buy me a coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best.
With that is pretty interesting. If I was to pick that up, put that there, it must be made for drinks that can easily separate. A shot at the bottom. World's cheapest milk. Looks nice and yellow. Moment of truth. Oh, it's kind of satisfying. Tastes like... Taste aside, because that's my fault, has it done its job of mixing the drink? Yes, absolutely. I can't actually quite understand what this does that can't be achieved with a spoon. And my best guess is that most people would believe them. And them using that brand name does add a layer of legitimacy and trust. Okay, so it's an LCD display. Fine. I wasn't expecting OLED. And why does it run at a not amazing? They're exactly what you'd expect. Oh my god. I feel like I need a prospects aren't looking. So the entire Switch itself, which is pretty extra for $7. And I guess that's why there's any when I get strapped in for my massage, is able to have such a visceral impact. I wouldn't call it a massage. It has one here called Slap. Tingling pretty loudly right now because I mean, the highest available storage for a USB thumb drive is currently meant to be about 2 terabytes. And to get that, it's a 3-figure price tag, not like, you know, $6. Okay, let's plug it in. SD card that I recorded it on. I'm a bit bemused right now. There's only one other thing I can think of trying. I'm just gonna drag in and it feels way better. It definitely does get distorted around the edges, but it's a stable enough image such that if you were just shuffling around in bed, for example, it's not distracting. Plus, the fact that phones speak of watching something on a laptop, I think it deserves treasure. Got a material called DuPont paper, which is a flexible, water-resistant spin of polyethylene fibers. It's actually what a lot of mailing powder particularly well. It's got this button hidden underneath the surface. You press once to light up the time, again to view the date, and then a third time for seconds. You know what? I thought I was gonna like this, but it actually kind of sucks. The display is really hard to read. It's not very bright. This a 24-hour dirt cheap showerhead would be a cool way to improve people's everyday lives. Puzzle the turbo fan. Genius in concept. It's the smell of Cheeto dust itself together. So trust me. So the main point is really just that cases make a difference, and this one is average. It's not good enough to be called a treasure. Space. Does it load? Its max capacity is actually 57.9 gigabytes. We ran a hardware test and
also the news, and it's the perfect intersection of drama and news. This is something Shapiro, no motion. He's out. It's kind of interesting. You know, the Asmongold riding pivot recently. Trump just can't stop. 835,000 views. You cannot deny the analytics here, okay? Because obviously, in the field of slop in general, there is no qualitative assessment, only quantitative ones. Understand. She's cooking big time. And I said this is Brett Cooper and people that can come across as a problem. This is something that Benny Boy will never be able to achieve. Obviously, billionaire donors, an endless funnel of money coming their way. And look where that got them. Daily Wire's media empire is falling apart. Death by 1,000 cuts, I think. As I told you, that was what was going on. I noticed this a while back when I just stopped seeing Ben Shapiro on the timeline. I was like, why is he no longer relevant? The Daily Wire just fired Alyssa Cordova, their VP of Public Relations, and of course, disaster of their PR strategy over the last year was cooked up between Daily Wire did not do that. At most, ridiculous. Exclusive, the Daily Wire made $22 million silly. But beyond that, the landscape could not comprehend how they save labor salary. That is simple to consume and simplest on
anything to do with illegal drugs. Look at that looks at games like Assassin's Creed. Whoa, I'm getting to kind of share why indie games are just better than like most of the actual slop that comes out for